Vacation Bible School. Depending on your age in the 90s, you might remember it. It's called Big House by Audio Adrenaline. The chorus goes, "Come and go with me to my Father's house. Come and go with me to my Father's house." A big, big house with lots and lots of room, with a big, big table with lots and lots of food, a big, big yard where we can play football at my Father's house. This song is filled with images of comfort and abundance and joy. It invokes a place where there's room for having fun, where no one goes hungry because there's more than enough of food, and where no one is left out because there's room enough for everyone here. The music video, if you choose to seek it out, makes it seem that God is the owner of the sort of mansion you think of when you think of the 1980s and 1990s, which doesn't seem quite right, but the song speaks to the characteristics of God that we know. God is like a parent, one we know who knows us, one who loves us deeply. God is a parent who offers comfort and abundance, food, shelter, time to play, and time for joy. Our Father's house is a place where all are welcome. There's room enough with enough food on the table, and there's a big enough yard even to play in. To an extent, this is what parents and caretakers provide for those that they take care of. As Jesus puts it in the Gospel of Matthew, "Is there anyone among you who, if your child asks for bread, will give a stone? Or if the child asks for a fish, will give a snake?" No, we care for our people. We try to give them what they need and what they ask for, within reason, of course. And that's well enough, but this isn't Jesus giving us a pat on the back for the ways that we parent and the ways that we care for other people. Jesus is actually comparing the way that we are able to provide with the way that God provides for God's children. The passage in Matthew continues, "If you then who are evil know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good things to those who ask him?" And there's the part we don't want to hear. If you then who are evil, we're quick to jump to the defense. Us evil, but I provide bread and not a stone. I provide a fish and not a snake. Yes, and we are also sinners. We are still human, and that is our inescapable identity just as much as the identity we hold as children of God. All we can do is provide care within the limitations of us as humans who sin. We forget, we fail, we try again the next day. We're late to pick up the kids from school, we're short with one another, we forget the birthday until the last second, we get anxious and fear slips into the way we talk to each other. We get angry about the messy room that never seems to be picked up, and we threaten to throw out all of their belongings. The list goes on and on. We sin in a multitude of ways, for we are not God. But Jesus isn't throwing the way people parent under the bus. Jesus is encouraging us to see who God is. For God is not like us, which is a good thing. We don't need God to be someone who punishes us, who is vindictive or judgmental. We don't need God to be someone who gets short with us all of the time. There are plenty of humans who are already fulfilling those roles around us. We need our God to be who God says they are to us. Someone who provides for us, who is a comfort, a shelter, a refuge, someone who delights and plays with us, one who is faithful, one who we cannot fully understand, but who we see again and again is patient and loving and fiercely for us. Our Father in heaven is a good Father who shows grace over judgment, who gives good things to those who ask him. Our Father in heaven has the big, big house with lots and lots of room for us all. Jesus invites us here to take a look at ourselves with honesty. We are sinners. And rather than letting us dwell in our misery that we are never going to get it right, Jesus reminds us instead to dwell in the goodness that is God, dwell in the goodness of God's grace, dwell in the promise of whose we are, God's beloved children. Dwell in what we can trust in, our God, and dwell in the big, big house of our Father who gives good things to those who ask God about them. Amen.